Hello guys, I'm guessing you're coming here because you've probably watched some of my car leasing videos and you've got questions. Lots of people have questions and luckily they leave comments on my videos, which is great. Not all of them offensive, but what I've done here is just compile the most frequently asked questions that I get on my videos and via Twitter and Facebook and all the rest of it. And I thought I'd put this together and sort of try and cover them all off in one. So here we go. Okay, so who pays for the servicing? If you have a non-maintained lease, you pay for the servicing. If you have a maintained lease, the finance company pays for the servicing. In my experience, it's always better to have a non-maintained lease and pay for the servicing yourself, because the cost of a maintained lease doesn't seem to make sense to me. That generally covers the cost of replacement tyres, all your servicing. That's just about it. So this one's, why are you such a... Does it have to be serviced by a main dealer? So you need to check with your lease company and check the terms of your lease and get it in writing that it doesn't have to be serviced by a main dealer if it doesn't. So even though with your warranty, you're probably covered if the car goes to an independent specialist as long as they use approved parts. Check with your finance company before making the assumption that your lease also allows for that. Okay, so just a phone call or an email is probably better because you want it in writing, but get it checked out before making any assumptions. Do I need gap insurance? Yes. Gap insurance is something that protects you if in case the car is written off and the insurance company doesn't give you enough to pay off the remaining finance under your finance agreement, which a lease deal is. It's not usually a massive amount of money for a 2 or 3 year lease. It might cost you 200 or 300 quid, but it could save you a bill for several £1,000s in the event that the car's written off. So it's up to you whether you want to take the risk or not, but I would say yes, have gap insurance. I've done a video on that, by the way, so look through my other videos and you will find it. Who owns the car? The finance company. Next. What happens when the lease ends? When the lease ends, the finance company will get in touch with you and arrange for the car to be collected. When the car's collected, it's inspected and you need to make sure it's very clean. It's got all the accessories in it, all your personal belongings are taken out, and that any damage has been dealt with. I've just done a video on returning your car and about fair wear and tear and the guidelines around that. And I would please beg that you go and watch that video because it's very, very important that you do. It could save you a lot of money when the car goes back. Is leasing better than a PCP? Right, so if you want to own the car, PCP might be a better option. If you just want to have the car for a period of time and then give it back, leasing is almost always cheaper. Not always, but almost always cheaper than a PCP. Is it better? If you want to buy the car, then no. I'm never quite sure what people mean by that question. Is it better? Is it cheaper? Yeah, usually. Is it better? Well, maybe not. Depends what you want. What are you looking for exactly? But yeah, leasing's usually cheaper than a PCP as long as you don't want to keep the car at the end. Can I part exchange my old car? No. What you can do is either sell your car privately or do a WeBuyAnyCar.com or something similar. One of these services where they give you a certain amount of money for your car. That's what most people do. But also just list the thing privately. Find out what We Buy Any Car would pay you for it, and then list it privately for a few quid more. Get as much as you can out of it. Are car subscriptions better than a lease? So a few companies are doing this now. I think Volvo's the one that springs to mind. And are they better than a lease? No. Although they're more flexible. Are they cheaper than a lease? God, no. So they're really expensive at the moment. This is where you can basically subscribe to a car for like a month at a time, and you can keep it going, or you can just cancel the subscription with a few weeks notice or a month's notice or something like that. They're really, really expensive at the moment. The subscription idea is quite an interesting one, and it might catch on. But the pricing has to be sensible, and at the moment, I don't think it is. I think it's daft. I don't think subscribing to a new Volvo, for example, is much cheaper than if you went and hired one for a month. especially if you spoke to the hire company and tried to arrange a deal on a long-term hire. I'm sure you'd get as good a deal or better than going and subscribing to a car. What's the catch? There's not one. I've done a video about what's the catch, but the long and the short of it is there's not. You're basically tied to the car for a period of time. You have to keep it serviced and you have to return it in good nick. That's kind of it. Where can I find the best deals? Well, you can find the best deals in my deals of the month videos, which I release once a month. But also leasing.com, cars to buy, Lease Loco, What Car, Car Wow, all of those have deals. The first few are more like car brokers, and then What Car tends to be deals that come directly from the dealerships or from the manufacturer, where the others are deals coming in from brokers. But that's typically where you're going to find the best deals. But obviously you can save yourself the hassle and look at my videos. What's the best deal on a XXX, on a blah, blah, blah? You know, I often get the message, what's the best deal on a Mini? Well, how many years, how many months, how many miles, what kind of Mini, what sort of engine? Just too many questions to answer, and sometimes the questions are quite broad, so you know I can't possibly look into it for every person. So what I would say is go to those sites I've mentioned and look at exactly a deal that fits you. They're very, very easy to use, those sites, so just go and do the work for yourself. If you want to come to me and ask me, you know, do you think this is a good deal on one of these, I'll give you my opinion, but there you go. Are you always better off leasing? Again, it depends on your circumstances and what you want. Are you better off leasing than doing a PCP on a brand new car? Almost always, unless you want to own the car at the end, in which case you don't know what your position is at the start of the deal, so it's difficult to say. Sometimes you're better off leasing a new car than you are buying a sort of second-hand 2 or 3 year old car financially, but of course you don't own the car at the end. So it depends on your circumstances. Leasing for me is a perfect option if you want to always be driving a new car, but you don't want the hassle of selling it. You don't want to get yourself tied into really expensive finance or to have to come up with a big lump sum of money at some stage. And if you don't want to own a depreciating asset, which I don't particularly want to own one of those, if it's a car that might go up in value, then you're better off buying the car. If it's one that's going down in value, you might be better off leasing it. Can I buy the car at the end of the deal? Officially, no. Unofficially, yes. So the lease company or finance company will often get in touch with you before the end of the lease and ask if you'd like to buy the car. And they'll ask you for the mileage on the car, and then they'll give you a price. Now, sometimes they don't get in touch with you, and you have to get in touch with them and ask the question. And most of the time, they'll come back, ask you for the mileage, and give you a price. Not always. I have had a couple of occasions where they're actually refused and said, no, the cars go to auction, we don't get involved in any sales outside of auction, which is fair enough. And the pricing sometimes is quite attractive and sometimes it's not. Your mileage may vary. So yes and no is the answer to that. The other thing is you can't really plan to buy the car because you've got no idea what the price is going to be, unlike a PCP deal where you've got that up front. But that's a really bad answer, isn't it? But yeah, the answer genuinely is no, but sometimes yeah. I'm self-employed. Is it a good idea to lease a company car? I have got absolutely no idea because I don't know your tax situation. I don't know your VAT situation. I don't know if you've got a limited company or if you're a sole trader. So with any questions like this, I will always tell you to go and speak to your accountant because they know your situation. They know all the current tax rules as they are today, and they might even have an idea of something that's coming up down the road. But that's an impossible one for me to answer without having absolutely all of your information. And then at the end of the day, I'm not an accountant. I might know the answer or think I know the answer, but I'm not an accountant. What happens if you want to get rid of the car early? Right, so this is a really common question actually, and it's a really good one. Normally, the lease company will let you return a car early, but they usually say you have to pay something like 50% of the outstanding payments. If you want to end it really early, it might be a higher percentage. Okay, but there is usually a way out, but it costs you a lot of money. So my company car at the moment, for example, is a Volvo XC40, and I wanted to send that back at the start of lockdown because my tax situation changed. It was costing me a ton of money. Got in touch with the lease company, and they said, "Oh yeah, we'll have it back now. It's going to cost you £7,000." And in hindsight, that may have been the best option for me at the time, but it was just a lot of money to come up with, and I didn't do it. But yeah, there's generally always a way out, but it's going to cost you money. Why won't my car start? Don't know. Seriously, it's a question that I've been asked quite a few times, or why I've got a knock in the front when I'm driving. I've got this, I've got that. Again, I might have a fair idea, but it's very difficult to diagnose a car when I'm on the other side of a YouTube screen. Right, that's it for the frequently asked questions. I just want to give a quick shout out to some people that regularly comment on my videos and give me lots of support and love, and I really appreciate it. So it's John Roberts, Angela Abbott, Mancunian Ace, leasing.com. I need a sponsor from you guys, by the way, and Rumal Ahmed. So thanks very much to you guys, because I think quite a lot of you have been watching the videos for a little bit of time now, and you're regularly commenting, and I really, really appreciate people that comment and like and subscribe, and that follow me on Twitter at NotAGuru3. So that's not a hint or it's not me asking you to do the same. Far from it. But please do. But no, just want to say thanks very much for those people that buy in and support me. I do all this all for free at the moment. I'm not monetized. I've had zero income from YouTube since I started. So knowing that there are some people that react to what I'm putting out there, it actually really helps me to keep going. If you do want to support me in any other ways, anyone watching this, please check the description box, and you will see some links to some other ways you can help me out, and a couple where you can help yourself out at the same time. But otherwise, that's it for my first car leasing frequently asked questions. Just a quick video today, so I hope you enjoy it, and hopefully see you soon.